If you had asked me 10 years ago what it takes to get fit and healthy, my answer would have been something like this. Eat double your body weight in protein and lift weights 4 to 5 times in a week, and you will be lean and healthy. But today, I beg to differ. In my early years with Fabulous Body, my focus was on leanness, aesthetics, and physical performance. But over time, life had other plans for me. Facing health challenges and difficult life circumstances, holistic health wisdom slowly found its way onto my path. Yes, nutrition and movement are essential, but over time I have realized that they are just a small piece of the puzzle. The truth is that there are 11 core health principles, 11 core health pillars of health that form a complete framework for achieving optimal health, what I call the green zone. Now, if you desire near perfect health, check out this video where I discuss all the zones in detail. Now, if you're content staying in the orange or purple zones, both of which are, by the way, substandard for true health, then by all means, you keep obsessing over calorie counting, protein macros, and progressive overload. But if your goal is near perfect health and reaching the green zone, you need to look beyond the gym and the plate. Ancient healing sciences like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine have guided human health for thousands of years, emphasizing holistic healing and harmony with nature. In contrast, gym and processed foods that comes in a wrapper or a box like protein powders are relatively new and represent just a small fragment of the bigger health picture. And that's why I've created a health guide, Green Zone Living, the 11 core pillars. It goes beyond just nutrition and exercise to cover the full spectrum of what truly drives long-term health and vitality. If you like a copy, simply comment Green Zone below and I'll send it straight to you. So today we'll focus on one of the most overlooked pillars, especially for people living in cities. Backed by hard science, I'll explain why this pillar is absolutely essential for your energy, hormones, sleep, and long-term health. And this pillar, my dear friends, is sunlight and nature. In the recent few years, soaking in the sun had become popular as a way to optimize one's vitamin D3 levels, but it's much more than that. It's actually a biological necessity hardwired into our evolution. Yes, UVB rays help your skin produce vitamin D, which is vital for bone strength, immunity, and overall health. But that's just the beginning. The entire spectrum of sunlight, UVA, visible light, and even infrared, they play critical roles in regulating your brain, body, and hormones. So let's take circadian rhythm for example. The light that enters your eyes and skin in the morning, ideally within an hour of sunrise, sends a powerful signal to your master clock in the brain. That signal tells your body it's daytime, time to be alert. Studies have shown that early morning light primes your metabolism, immune function, and even sets the stage for nighttime melatonin production, which is critical for deep sleep later on. Infrared, which you feel as warmth, penetrates the body more deeply. It improves circulation, reduces inflammation, and helps with tissue repair. Visible light, especially the blue wavelength in the morning, are essential for mental alertness and mood regulation. UVA rays, although often feared, play a role in nitric oxide release, which supports vascular health. In other words, the sun's rays are a full orchestra, and health happens when you get to listen to the whole symphony and not just one instrument. Having said that, sunlight has its double edge. Too much UV exposure, especially in the middle of the day without protection, can cause DNA damage, sunburn, and increase the risk of skin cancer. Chronic UVA exposure contributes to premature skin aging and wrinkles. On the other hand, too little exposure, like what happens to people working indoors all day or glued to their screens, leads to deficiencies not just in vitamin D but also in circadian alignment. Artificial lighting at night makes this worse. The blue light from phones, laptops, and LED bulbs, it tricks your body into thinking that it's still daytime, and that suppresses melatonin, which is your sleep hormone, and it raises cortisol at the wrong times, and that leads to sleep problems, hormone disruption, and even high risk of metabolic disease. So folks, balance is the key. The don'ts are clear. Don't avoid the sun completely, and don't overdose on it either. Don't rely on artificial lighting to replace natural light, especially late into the night, and also don't stare into screens late at night expecting to sleep well. And the do's are simple. Do expose yourself to the natural light in the first hour of your day. 15 to 30 minutes of morning and afternoon sun makes a measurable difference in energy, mood, and natural sleep onset. Do take breaks outside during the workday. It doesn't matter your age or location, the benefits hold true across the board. And do respect the sun's rhythm. Strong midday UV is best for short exposure to top up your vitamin D levels, while the softer red rich light of sunrise and sunset is perfect for resetting your biological clock without the risk of sunburn. When you see sunlight this way as a full spectrum therapy provided freely by nature, you stop treating it as a threat or a luxury. You start to see it as an essential nourishment, just as important as the food you eat or the water you drink. And when you align with the sun's cycles, you are not just getting vitamin D, you're syncing your body to the very rhythm of life itself. Now, sunlight is just one part of the story. Let's just widen the lens a little. Now, human beings weren't designed to live in sealed boxes surrounded by concrete, air conditioning, and Wi-Fi routers. We were designed to live in nature. And the truth is that the biology still remembers that. Time spent outdoors in forests, near rivers, lakes, or even just on bare earth has profound effects on our physical and mental health. Let's start with something simple: grounding or earthing. This is the practice of placing your bare feet on soil, grass, or sand. It may almost sound too simple, but there is fascinating research showing that direct contact with the earth allows your body to absorb negative ions and balance electrical charges. This connection reduces inflammation, calms the nervous system, and can improve sleep quality. Think of it as plugging yourself back into the natural power source that your body was wired for. Now let's talk about the air. Fresh, natural air is not the same as the recycled, filtered, or polluted air that most of us breathe in cities. In forests, oceans, and mountains, the air is rich in compounds like negative ions and phytonicides. Negative ions are tiny charged particles that occur abundantly near waterfalls, rivers, and oceans. Studies suggest that they boost serotonin, reduce stress, and even enhance immune function. Phytonicides are aromatic compounds released by trees, especially conifers like pine trees, that strengthen our immune system and increase natural killer cell activity. This is one reason why the Japanese practice of forest bathing or Shinrin-yoku has been studied and recommended for stress relief, lower blood pressure, and improved mental clarity. A large-scale study from Denmark used satellite data to measure children's exposure to green space from birth to age 10. Researchers analyzed data from more than 900,000 individuals born between 1985 and 2003, and the results were striking. Children who grew up with greater access to green space had a significantly lower stress of developing psychiatric disorders later in life, including depression, mood disorders, eating disorders, and substance use disorders. In fact, those with the least exposure to green space during childhood had a 55% higher risk of mental illness compared to those who were raised surrounded by abundant greenery. Furthermore, water adds another layer of healing. Whether it's the ocean, a river, or a lake, water environments are naturally calming and restorative. The rhythmic sound of water shifts the brain into a more relaxed state. Being in or near water often reduces cortisol levels, improves mood, and increases a sense of connectedness. Some scientists even call this the blue mind effect, the mental health boost we get simply from being close to water. That is the blue mind effect. Now, spending time in nature lowers blood pressure. It improves insulin sensitivity, reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression, and restores focus and attention. Even short breaks, short outdoor breaks, just 20 minutes in a park, have been shown to lower cortisol and improve mood. So when we combine sunlight, fresh air, grounding, and natural surroundings, what we are really doing is syncing our biology back to its original settings. The body doesn't just relax in these environments, it remembers how to sleep, how to breathe, how to repair, and most importantly, how to thrive. The don'ts here are pretty simple. Do not spend all your waking hours indoors. Do not ignore the craving your body has for sunlight, fresh air, and open skies. And the do's are equally simple. Do carve out time every day, even if it's just 20 to 30 minutes, to step outside, take your shoes off, and breathe deeply, and let your senses be nourished by the natural world. Do spend weekends or longer breaks in deeper nature, forest, mountains, or near water, because those environments restore you in ways no pill, no supplement, and no gym session can. If you need the Green Zone Living guide, which is the 11 core health pillars that explains about how to achieve near perfect health, comment Green Zone and we'll send you the link. I'm Akash. Thank you so much for your time.